Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Rundown, where we talk about 2A news and conservative views. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras, on our second shot at this program today. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
That's right. My name is Mike Pierworski, coming to you live from the East Coast. That's the coast with the most, from the co-host with the most here on The Rundown. 2A views, conservative news, and Craig, it's Monday.
Yes, it is. That's right, folks. Today's Monday, and we've just been having a doozy of a time because, well, let's just say the technicals have been messing with the brother today.
Yeah. It's yeah. I like to call it rendezvous. That's the service we use.
Well, it's not rendezvous. It's wire ass is what it is. Otherwise known as Wirecast. Seems to be the problem. So here's the deal, man.
Rendezvous.
I use, so there's two different programs I use. There's Wirecast, which I use to produce it, and then there's Restream, which sends it to everybody. The problem is not Restream, because someone else I know uses a program called a different program. You don't even know the name of it. Same service, doesn't have a problem. It seems to really just be communication between Wirecast and Restream. I don't know what the problem is, but I got to figure it out. Once again, folks, I appreciate your patience. Mike, I appreciate your patience. And if it weren't for the fact that this program is damn expensive, I would invest in another one.
Yeah, well, it's good to hear at least at your age you got a strong Restream.
Yeah, strong prostate. Good stuff. All right, well, we've done all the dilly-dallying we did a little bit earlier. You had a good weekend. I had a good weekend. Weird weekend because it was like, a weekend after 1 day, after 2 days?
Like a Wednesday weekend. It was weird. It just felt weird. Now it's like, I don't even know what today is. It's like, today's like Tuesday, Wednesday again, all over. It's just weird.
Yeah, it's Monday.
No more holidays in the middle of the week. No more holidays in the middle of the week. At least not for another 6-7 years. Yeah.
There you go.
Not on a Wednesday. Thursday, okay. Tuesday, okay. You could stretch weekends that far, but on a Wednesday, just ruins it.
Just don't. You should just skip. Anytime a holiday falls on a weekend, they should just move it to the next day.
Yeah, right. Well, that's what I'm saying. You get that bonus Friday, Monday, but even in a Tuesday or a Thursday, you can stretch it. But when it happens on a Wednesday, you lose the week, because they make you come back to work. It just
exactly done. Anyway, well, let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and start with a quick shout out to our sponsors. And there I go again.
Gomer Pyle, right there. He's one of our sponsors. Hey, let's say hello to our good friends at Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. If you got yourself an AR in the past 5 years, probably got one of their barrels, don't even know it. Well, now you can buy from them factory direct. Just get on over to hitmanindustries.net. California Republicans fighting the good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. You want the best in tactical concealed holsters on the market? Get on over to Hog Holsters, HAWGholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown. That's all one word. No spaces, all caps. Get a nice little discount. And if you want the best in field gear, tactical gear, everything that you need for law enforcement, military, fire, EMS, and civilian occupations, just get on over to uscombatgear.com.
That's right, folks. These are our sponsors. They bring us to you so that we can bring you to them. Do us a favor. Do them a favor. Do yourself a favor. Visit the websites. All you got to do is follow the links in the description to this program. Go there, check out their websites, and if you like what you see, spend some money with them and tell them it was the guys over at The Rundown that sent you. Also, would love to encourage you, if you haven't already done so, like, share, subscribe. However you partake of the program, please let your friends know about it. Now, if you're watching us live, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Rumble, well, you know we're live because, well, you get to see all of the little flubs. Now, by the way, if you're watching us there, you can comment live, and we're following your comments. And if we like what you have to say, we'll go ahead and we'll share it with the audience. And when I say like, I don't necessarily mean that we agree, just mean that we find it interesting. As long as we find it interesting, we'll share it. And if we disagree with it, we will appropriately mock you. Because that's fun. Anyway. But we also know that many people partake in different ways. A lot of people watch us on Spotify, listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. By the way, you guys are lucky because even though you don't get to participate in the conversation live, you at least get a cleaned up version because we usually edit out all the flubs.
Yeah, we give it a shot. Try to make it look nice.
Look halfway decent. We try. All right, folks, let's go ahead and get into today's program. Today's program is kind of interesting because, post-election, it's always hard trying to find news or interesting stuff that's going on, and in particular where conservatism is just winning. And that is exactly, folks, what is taking place all around the world, not just here in the United States, but all around the world, in particular up north with our Canadian neighbors, as I like to call them, America's hat. Justin Trudeau is resigning, and he's denying himself the chance of governing California or America's 51st state. Yeah, that's a joke from when Donald Trump was talking about annexing Canada. Anyway, it says here, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced his resignation following tensions with U.S. President-elect Donald Trump, likely bringing an end to nearly a decade of left-wing policymaking from the United States' northern neighbor. Trudeau on Monday, at a Monday press conference, said he is resigning immediately as leader of the Liberal Party, but is staying on as Prime Minister while the party picks a replacement to serve until the next election scheduled for October. Now, Mike, the interesting thing about this is they're projected, the Liberal Party is actually, Liberty Party is actually projected to lose by like 24 points in the upcoming election. It is going to be horrid. It is going to be an arse whooping, a spanking. It's going to be, they're going to look like the Dallas Cowboys playing the Philadelphia Eagles. That's how bad it's going to be.
They might as well be running Harrison Walls. I mean, it's amazing. They're going to get their butts kicked.
But here's the thing, and I think it speaks to what is taking place in many Western countries. We're talking in Europe, we're talking countries in South America, where people are recognizing that not just the socialism, but the actual Marxism, in particular the cultural Marxism that has been taking place, that the left has been pushing. I think the people, and when I say the people, I don't just mean conservatives, I believe the people are finally pushing back.
Yeah, and listen, the Canadians are very proud people, right? And they gave it a shot, and they gave it a shot with what Trudeau had, but I think they were done with it after about a year. And just the way their politics works up there, and the way the makeup of their government, he just kept getting it and kept getting it again because it's voted in by the prime ministers there, right? Not the people, as so to speak. People elect the party, then the party elects the prime minister. So it's done, and they're glad. Get out, go home. Good that he's not going to be face to face in office the same time as Trump, because he really would have embarrassed him. Trump really would have embarrassed Trudeau.
It would have definitely been embarrassing for him. One of the benefits I think we have by having a separate executive, by having the separation of powers that we do, is because, for example, in a parliamentary system, they do have an executive, but the executive is selected by the legislative. Right. So it's really kind of controlled by the legislative branch of government. So they really don't have separation of powers. And it's kind of hard because it works when it makes you easier. It makes it so that you can pass policy and you're able to implement policy more because obviously if you're controlling the legislative branch and then you just get to implement it, but you don't really have the level of pushback that is required in a give and take sort of democratic political system that makes for good checks and balances. And what they've seen in Canada has just been horrific. And I think the people finally have just said, yeah, enough. And, I'll be honest with you, I credit Donald Trump for that, because he's the one who, quite frankly, has made it cool to say, F you, no.
Yeah, yeah. And again, this kind of went back a few weeks after, I think it was Thanksgiving. Was it Thanksgiving that Trudeau went down to Mar-a-Lago? And
Yeah.
when they were talking about tariffs, that's Donald Trump joked with them. He goes, "Yeah, I'll just make you the 51st state. You could be the governor up there. Then you'll do what you're told." And I think he got the tone of how he's going to be treated starting January 20th. And with everything that he's been facing, he just decided it's time to go. It's time to go.
Yeah. Well, it is. It is. Their form of government, it has failed. It's kind of funny because everyone wants to talk about Canada as being this a place that we ought to model after. Well, guess what? Being like Canada is failing for Canada. At least according to the Canadian people, that's why they're going a different direction. Just like being like the United States, or being like Biden's United States, well, wasn't working out so well for us, so we decided to go a different direction.
And listen, the parliamentary system is not a bad system. It's obviously worked for the British for many years, and you see how it works for Canada. I don't think there's any debate at all. We have many more individual rights than they do. Listen, they've got free healthcare. That's great. Americans want that. They got free college. That's great. Americans want that. They also pay 50 to 60% taxes on anything that they do up there to pay for those social programs.
Well, and the other issues that the parliamentary, at least seems to be exemplary in a parliamentary system. Here, being a constitutional republic, we are first and foremost governed by our Constitution. And because we have the various separation of powers, it works a lot better. Because right now, believe people don't know this, but there is a petition. There is an English Petition of Rights. There is a Canadian Constitution, and the rights that are enumerated in those documents, quite frankly, are just flat out ignored by their parliamentary governments, by their governments as a whole. Yeah. Here in the United States, because we have a judiciary, because we have an executive, there's a lot greater likelihood of accountability in terms. It makes it a lot harder for the government to just ignore those fundamental rights that, by the way, are not given to us by government. They're not given to us by government or by those documents, but they're recognized in those documents.
Correct. Very, very much so. Yeah.
Yeah. One of those, by the way, those fundamental rights happens to also be the right to keep and bear arms. And unlike the left, who believes that, only certain people, mainly the people that they like, should have access to firearms, we on the right believe that every free American, every citizen who is not demonstrated a propensity to illegal violence against one another should have a right to be able to own and possess a firearm for self-defense. That includes those people who are members of the LGBTQ community. And it appears, according to recent articles, that they are availing themselves of this very fundamental right. There's an article that is over at the New York Post. We'll pull it up here real quick. It says, LGBTQ liberals start arming themselves over baseless fear of being placed in concentration camps. Now, you guys might remember back during the election, there were arguments that, well, if you're gay or if you're in the media or if you disagree with Donald Trump, you're going to be thrown into concentration camps. And so there are many people on the left who are looking to arm themselves. Now, a lot of people, Mike, don't remember, but this same exact story was being told when Donald Trump got elected back in 2016. In particular, though, then the focus was more on people of color, on black people. But yeah, no, a lot of liberals were arming themselves back when Donald Trump got elected president the first time.
Yeah, listen, first off, you have the liberal people, right, that say, guns are bad, but then they're going to go out and take advantage of having guns, and the LGBT crowd, and this is by no means all of them, right? We understand that. But the side on the left is willing to tell any lie that they possibly can to get you to believe that Donald Trump is the devil so they can have either Hillary in office or Biden in office or Harris in office. That they want liberal people in because they want the liberal social programs that President Trump is going to do away with and make you responsible for yourself and your family.
Well, and one of the other things I want to point out, in particular to those in our audience who might be members of the LGBTQ community, I want you to understand something. I want you to recognize this. There are no conservatives out there saying, "Oh, well, we don't want those people to own or possess firearms, so we need to restrict the rights of all Americans." In other words, they're not trying to take away your right to keep and bear arms. Nobody wants to see your rights taken away. No conservatives want to see your rights taken away, right? We believe in your fundamental rights just like we believe in our fundamental rights. That's the difference between the left and the right. That's the difference between them and us. Where I'm like, look, because I don't, hey, you have a right to self-defense just like everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. Remember, those laws, Jim Crow laws, were used to restrict a certain member of our society from having firearms. Those were purely Democrat laws, and for years and years and years, the Republicans have worked to get rid of them. This is your own party that you're talking about when you say, "Oh, you're going to do this to that." No, that's what your party does. That's not what our party does.
One of the original plaintiffs on the Heller suit was actually it was a gentleman from California who was gay, who had been attacked and wanted to own or possess a firearm to be able to defend himself. Once again, it's the great equalizer. No matter what you believe, no matter what your religious beliefs, no matter what your gender or gender identity, whatever it is, you have a right to defend yourself. And I think conservatives, real conservatives, true conservatives, will always defend your right to be able to defend yourselves.
Yeah, what's the old saying? And I know there's two names you could use in here. God created man, and Sam Colt made them equal.
There you go. I like that. I had totally forgotten about that till you shared that one, but yeah, I very much like that one. Because it is true, 'tis true, 'tis true. All right, moving right along. Next in line, we have an LA councilman. This is a member of the Los Angeles City Council. Decided to say, you know what? I know that Donald Trump is threatening to take away federal funds to states and local municipalities that declare themselves to be sanctuary cities or sanctuary municipalities. But you know what? Nah, we need to go ahead and do exactly. We need to go ahead and just accept that and be okay with that and accept those budget cuts. Well, this being reported by Breitbart News, it says LA council member, illegal immigrants are so crucial we should accept budget cuts over sanctuary status. It says here, during an interview with KQED on Friday, Los Angeles City Council member Eunice Hernandez responded to a question on how much pain the city should be willing to take if the Trump administration cuts federal funding to the city over its sanctuary status by stating that, quote, considering how much illegal immigrants are of the fabric of the city of Los Angeles, we have to do whatever we can to keep our families whole. And we can be innovative in our budget, and we can find different ways to reassess where we're spending our dollars to put them into more effective places, because we cannot afford not to protect these people, not to keep families together. Whole economies would break down in the city of Los Angeles if we were to lose a substantial number of our immigrant communities. Now, Mike, what I'm trying to figure out here is, you understand how the policy is how everybody is saying the policy is going to be implemented. Number one, they're going after criminals, right? They're going to go after criminal illegals, people who have committed crimes where they came from or committed crimes since they got here. They're going first. Next is going to be people who've entered in the last, year to 2 years, right? People who just got here. How is someone who just got here integral to our economy or to the economies of the city of Los Angeles? They've already said, look, we're going to keep families together. they can all go back to where they came from together. They don't have to stay. They don't have their kids. When their kids become of age, their kids can always come back here, because if they were born here, then they're citizens. But guess what? If you just got here, then you weren't born here. I'm just trying to figure out exactly what dude is talking about.
Well, dude, there, Unisys Hernandez that's about the most racist and discriminatory statement I think I've heard from anybody out of LA in a while, and that's saying something there. Craig, he's saying because you're talking about the people that have just gotten here, right? They have not established themselves. They've not got a foothold. They have not established true residency or legal residency anyway. He is saying we don't need the federal money from Donald Trump, because we have all these illegal immigrants and we only pay them a nickel on the dollar. So we don't need the federal government's money, because we're going to abuse the people that are here illegally. We're going to take advantage of them, and we'll keep them together. We'll give them all $5 an hour, 5 cent an hour jobs. But we don't need Donald Trump's money, because we have the immigrants we can abuse and make them pay for everything. And it'll balance out the budget.
That is a point that I keep trying to make to people. Say, you don't understand the reason why. There's a reason why the corporations or the business folks want to keep the borders open, because these are folks who they can get to work a lot cheaper and in a lot worse conditions than most Americans are willing to work. I'll tell you right now, yes, Americans will go out and pick vegetables, but they're not going to do it for minimum wage. You're going to have to pay a living wage. You're going to have better working conditions. But the thing is, people coming from other countries where they are used to earning pennies an hour are willing to do it for close to nothing. They're willing to work in unsafe conditions. And so you're actually using them as basically modern day slaves.
Exactly right. And listen, and Craig, first off, I know they do it in my state and many states out here in the South as well. If there are illegals that are caught and they're working off the books like that, they don't fine and go after the illegals. They go after the employers, and they shut the employers down, because they're the ones that are abusing the system. But if the immigrant comes over and says, "Hey, I'm here to, let's like you said, let's go in the agriculture industry." They're working in the fields, and it's normally, I don't know, what's your minimum wage an hour out there, like $72 an hour now or something, with all the damn tax raises.
I think it's going up again. So
right. So whatever your $15 an hour minimum wage is, they could go up to them and say, "Listen, I'm going to give you $5 an hour. Listen, I'm not going to report you. I'm not calling ICE. If I was paying you $15 an hour, we'd have to assign you a fake social security number. I'm not getting caught. I know you don't want to get caught. You'd be taxed and probably only taking home $9 an hour. So I'm going to give you $5 an hour, and we're going to call it even, and you're going to love it." And they're like, "Dude, I make $1 an hour at home. Of course I'll take $5 an hour here."
Well, exactly. I mean, and that's the thing that people don't understand is they literally, their goal is to exploit workers, is to exploit people coming from other countries. But not just that, to undercut the American market. And a lot of people are like, well, they keep talking about picking vegetables, right? As if everybody, all 10 million of the people who came across our southern border are all going into the fields to pick fruit and vegetables, right? Or to pick cotton, right? No. Huge percentage of them are in construction, right? Huge percentage of them are going into transportation. Huge percentage are going into the service industries and hospitality industries. All jobs that Americans would do if you don't undercut their market rate.
Correct. Yeah, for actual wages, it's there. It is listed, like you said, these are the same jobs where Americans look at them and go, "I want a living wage. I want $30 an hour to flip hamburgers." Get bent. That's why the legitimate companies put in computers rather than hire these illegal immigrants.
Here's the deal. If you want to earn more money, make yourself more valuable. Get more job skills. Learn some skills that people want. Then you go out and you market yourself. That's what a lot of people, Mike, and this is the thing, a lot of people, when they hear the whole wage income and income disparity, they act as if people who are low income will forever be low income, like they will never leave that stratosphere. And the reality is that only about 18% of people who start off at low income actually ever stay low income. Most people move up. They start off low income because they got no skills. They have no experience. They develop skills. They develop experience. They become more marketable, and they move up. and they make more money.
Yeah. And let's be clear on the skills and the marketability skills we're talking about. I'm not looking as an employer, and I've been an employer, and I've been a boss and a hiring manager. If you come to me and say you worked at McDonald's for a year, I got no need for your hamburger flipping skills. I probably have no need for your mopping skills or cleaning the bathroom skills. You know what I have a need for? Somebody that showed up to work on time for a year at McDonald's and didn't get fired and didn't steal from their employer and stayed there for a year. Got the skills that says I know how to wake up and go to work. Now I'm ready for another job where I can do that and actually get a higher pay rate and a higher skill level.
You know what? That's exactly what I did. My first job. Well, my first job before that was I was delivering newspaper. I was a newspaper boy, back when paper boys were still a thing. But my first real job was working at McDonald's, and I did just that. I worked there, became an assistant manager, became a shift manager, then assistant manager, then left there to go work in retail to make more money. Left one retail store to go to another retail store to make more money. Became an assistant manager. I mean, that's you. You learn, you develop skills and experience, and then you market that and you turn that into a job paying more money.
That's it. That's how it works.
That's how it works. Not taking a job that is not taking a job that is worth $5 an hour and paying that person $20 an hour so as an employer and losing money. Those jobs don't last.
Yep. No,
not at all.
Companies don't last because they can't afford it. Yeah.
As is the case right now in California, but we're just living it. That's all. What do I know?
Yeah.
All right, and finally, we all know that the left is. First of all, I don't know if you ever watched this guy Scott Jennings over at CNN. I don't know where this guy came from, but I like him. He is good. He's on a bunch of these panels that they have over there, and he's really just about telling the truth. I don't think, Mike, he's not more on it than you or I or any of the other conservative commentators that you and I know. But what I appreciate is that he goes there he's there in the belly of the beast every day, taking on the left and talking the truth. And what was funny was when they were talking about, they were talking on this one piece about inflation, and the one of the people says that prices are going down, and he correctly clarifies, no, they're not. Check out the response from the host of the show.
What we are saying, though, is that prices are going down. What I am saying is murder rates.
Going down.
They actually are going down.
Inflation is still
plateauing.
It is decreasing in rate, which is the entire goal.
But
of
are
the
prices
Federal
going
Reserve.
down or not? Just to be clear. No, they're not.
They
going
are down
And
from
they're
their sky high rates. Yes.
Actually,
Stop.
No.
Let's move on. Next up for
We were just arguing over combat zones. I don't know where we are this morning.
You can argue.
You guys are trying to paint a picture of a country that doesn't exist.
I'm not painting anything. I'm painting. Stop talking. That's what I'm painting.
So, in other words, he's right. Stop talking. The Republican is right. So we have to stop him from talking. Dude, I can't tell you the number of times I have been, and there's one particular radio show host that I love to do her show because she does this all the time, and I correct her. I stop her and I literally reprimand her on her own show. And because she does that. She says something that is completely incorrect or just flat out lies or tries to shut me down when I correct her in telling her that something is actually the truth. And I said, look, you know what? Look, you can lie to your listeners, and that's okay because you're telling them what they want to hear. But I don't have to participate in that lie, and so I'm not going to.
Yeah, absolutely right. And let's be clear, he is correct, right? Because the inflation rate is not coming down. What's happened is the inflation rate continues to go up, but it's going up a little slower right now.
Right.
It's what's going on. So
now, Mike, let me ask you something. If prices are going up slower, does that mean that they are going down?
Well, according to them, it does.
Right.
According to the two of them, yeah.
Yeah, go back. You need to take basic economics and basic mathematics. If something is going up slower, it is not going down. It is just going up slower. But it's still going up.
It is, man. I got a giant moth flying around here. I don't know where it came from.
Was that what that was? A moth?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to shoot this thing down.
You got it. Mothra is under attack. Godzilla! Godzilla!
Azura! Hold on, let me get it. I got it. Hold on. Let me bring it up for you here. Wait, it's running. Now it's running. I broke it.
It's now running away.
It's on the
Look.
ground running like a damn roadrunner.
Those are the sorts of creatures that they have to deal with over there in Florida. You
I gotta
got
go get it. Hold on.
you've got Mothra,
Critters here.
right? You got Mothra, you have Godzilla, otherwise known as alligators who climb fences.
Hey, they got to get on the other side of the fence too, you know.
Why did the alligator climb the fence?
Because he wanted to get to the other side.
He wanted to get to the other side.
It's like a riddle, you know.
Oh, that is hilarious. Anyway, folks.
Knock me off the chair. Hit me in the head. Knock me off the chair. It was...
Oh, good stuff, good stuff. All right, folks. Well, let's see here. That then is going to bring us to our parting shots. Parting shots are brought to you by Hog Holsters. Just go to hogholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown. All caps, no spaces. Get your Hog Holster today. Our parting shots today are brought to you by the Babylon Bee. Fake news that you can count on. Justin Trudeau, it turns out, is not just going to be resigning. It says here, according to the Babylon Bee, Trudeau to be humanely euthanized. You know, that's a new Canadian policy up there.
Good.
Bye-bye. 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 All right, and then you've also got here, it turns out that, as they're handing out all of these medals for nothing, they're handing out all these medals for close to nothing. It turns out that Biden is trying to help Kamala Harris pay for her campaign. It says here, Biden online store clearance sale now offering presidential medals of freedom for $9.99.
There you go. Get them while they're hot.
Get them while they're hot, because he's giving them to everybody. I mean, he gave them to George Soros, to Hillary Clinton, Denzel Washington. Well, I'm happy to see him get one. Well, I don't know that necessarily he should have gotten the second highest honor ever. I'm just because he's a great actor, but really, anyway.
But that's what they should be for. Those people that bring up and do good things and bring about good attitude, and well, that's what. I mean, I'll give one to Denzel. All right.
Okay. All right. Well, would you give him, or would you rather give him this? Biden honors Kamala Harris with the Presidential Medal of Participation.
Yeah, but it should only be like a 30% medal because she only had like the last 100 days, right? So.
Exactly. And by the way, in the ongoing chicken wars, is being reported on by the Babylon Bee, fake news that you can count on. Nation's Chick-fil-A employees begin marching around Popeye's restaurants, blowing trumpets.
Yeah, just not on Sundays. Not on Sundays.
Just not on Sundays. Yeah, for those of you who are familiar with the walls of Jericho, you'll get that joke. Those of you who are not probably won't. But the Lord's chicken versus hot and spicy chicken. Of course, I guess it
heathen chicken. Say
heathen
right.
chicken. I forgot. Heathen chicken.
Heathen chicken.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I love me some heathen chicken.
Only on Sundays.
Only on.
It's the Lord's
He's like only on Sundays. Otherwise, it's the Lord's chicken.
He's gonna have the Lord's chicken.
Oh, good stuff. All right, folks. So that's going to be about it for today. But before we go, we're going to give a quick shout out to our sponsors.
That's right. Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. Make sure you get over there. You can get rifle and pistol barrels at rifle and pistol calibers, any length you desire for your next AR build or rebarrel your current AR platform. That's hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly, fighting that good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. And of course, we've got the best in field gear, tactical gear, police, law enforcement, military, security, anything you need. You can get it at uscombatgear.com.
That's right, folks. Please take a moment, visit our sponsors, and tell them the guys over at the Rundown sent you. And with that, we're going to call it a show. We're going to be done for today. We appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate you liking and sharing the program and encouraging your friends to do the same. Tomorrow on Taco Tuesday. Till then, Y'all have fun, stay safe, and if you get a chance, remember to send a few downrange. I'll holler at you tomorrow.